What is Franz Boas's radical cultural relativism? Imagine trying to understand a world where every culture is seen as a different way of making sense of life. That's what Franz Boas aimed for with his idea of radical cultural relativism. It's a way of looking at cultures without judging them by your own standards. Boas believed that no culture is better or worse than another. Instead, each one is shaped by its own history, environment, and social conditions. This was a big shift from the common view at the time, which often labeled non-Western societies as primitive or less advanced. Boas challenged that idea, saying those judgments were based on bias, not facts. He argued that every culture has its own internal logic and values that make sense within its context. Radical cultural relativism says that anthropologists should not judge or compare cultures using their own ideas of what is right or wrong. Instead, they need to see the world through the eyes of the people they study. This means suspending personal opinions and trying to understand how others think, act, and make sense of their lives. Boas also believed that differences between cultures come from their unique histories and environments, not from biological or racial differences. He promoted the idea of historical particularism, which means each culture develops in its own way because of specific historical events and circumstances. For example, a practice that seems strange in one society might have developed as a solution to local problems. Understanding that context helps avoid unfair judgments. In practical terms, Boas's approach encourages researchers to observe carefully, describe cultures in detail, and show respect for diversity. It helps prevent misinterpretations and leads to more accurate portrayals of different ways of life. Boas's ideas also have larger effects beyond anthropology. Recognizing that all cultures are equal and valuable challenges ideas of racism and colonialism. It promotes respect for cultural differences and discourages trying to erase or judge them by outside standards. In essence, his radical cultural relativism is about understanding cultures from within, without bias, and recognizing that each one is shaped by its own unique history and environment. This way of thinking still influences how anthropologists study and think about human societies today.